All right, well, good evening. What the heck can I be up to this evening? Now, I'm actually just relaxing a little bit here. What the heck can I be up to this evening? Yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit of relaxing, talk a couple hacks that I like to use here. And Maggie says they're not very good hacks, but that's all right with me. So I'm going to be starting in a couple minutes. I know this is the Chris Carbon County Commissioner Facebook page, live streaming, normally where we host Carbon Matters, but that's all right. It's good to loosen it up a little bit every once in a while. So in just a minute or two, I'm going to get started. Little demonstration tonight. And yes, I normally do wear plastic gloves when I'm cooking or preparing food in the house. So there's something we have a good ample supply of, so it's not waste, simply good food sanitation, right? Well, thank you so much for joining me. I know this is really going to be exciting. I'm just kind of screwing around, to be honest. Just thought I'd do something different, trying to take a mental break for about a half hour or so. Molly just got down to bed for the night about 15-20 minutes ago. Did a couple phone calls, and so I'm going to show one or two little things that I do that are totally irrelevant to most people in the world, and I'm sure most people who know me. But again, I'm just kind of in a giddy mood. It's been a good week so far, just really early into it. A great weekend, got a lot done, a lot of yard work, a lot of little tasks around the house. The filter on the HVAC system, on the water system, that was replaced. A couple 3M Command adhesives had to be replaced, got those done. Front yard, backyard cut, weeded it. Wow, great weekend. Nice to be outside, even though it got a little cool yesterday afternoon. It was great to be out there. So what do you see in front of me? You see a couple kiwis, right? And I'm not going to focus on the kiwi of Kiwi fame or New Zealand fame, right? I think most of you recognize that as the famous kiwi bird. You might have seen it on kiwi polish if you're in the military especially, but I think it's probably the major brand anywhere in the Western world. That's kiwi polish. But this is actually the national bird of New Zealand. It is a nocturnal bird. This is the last thing Molly hears before she goes to bed every night. And this particular kiwi was a gift from Brett, Sarah, Harriet, and Chelsea, very good kiwi friends of ours. First was introduced to the kiwi bird officially when I was over in Staff College in Australia, and we had kiwis, which are New Zealanders, on course with us. And when we went to do a defense tour down in New Zealand for about 10-12 days or so. So that's a kiwi bird, but I'm not going to be focusing on the kiwi bird. In a minute or two, I'm going to be focusing on this little kiwi fruit here. And I think I found a pretty nifty way to cut it without mushing it, and it's really easy and clean. And I like to feed these to Molly. Molly enjoys it, a little bit sour, but they're great. But first and foremost, right, I have my favorite cheese, which is a Spanish cheese, a Manchego cheese. And again, flavor is dependent on these, about how long they age. I simply go to Sam's and buy it in bulk. I love it that much. So this is, hey, no surprise there, simple cheese cutter, right? This is Pampered Chef. Maggie continues to be a big fan of Pampered Chef. So I'm going to go ahead. You know, on Manchego cheese, there's a little bit of wax around there. This is serrated, so it is also good for cutting the plastic bag. All right, put that away. I don't have a helper here. So the first critical thing about Manchego cheese is getting rid of that wax. So how do you do it? Pretty darn easy, right? You just use the slicer, right? And I normally take off, look at that right there. So this is Chris getting his Manchego cheese ready for a little bit of slicing. That's really easy, right? And then you go around the sides same technique. And let me show you this, because I think this is great. This is the best way. You don't waste much of the Manchego cheese at all by doing it this way. Look at that, perfect. That's just taking away all that wax. And look at that. I have my Manchego cheese. And like for somewhere tonight, if I was slicing it up, right, just slice it in, boom, cut it up. That's my Manchego cheese. But you know what? That's the conventional use of a cheese cutter, right? But I want to show you how I actually use it for a kiwi. And I know this is so exciting. My gosh, I must have a full 13 people on right now. What the heck is Chris doing? Well, again, I'm actually just playing around, relaxing this evening, putting my Manchego cheese away for later. But now, I want to go ahead. I want to do a little bit of work. All right, there we go. All right. So what I have my small cutting board. It does have measurements on it, but I kind of hang it over the edge, just about 1/4 inch or so, and you can probably see that here, is right. You can kind of see that as I have that little bit, right. You can see it extends over a little bit. Now this is pretty important. Now I do have a camera in my way here. All right. So again, the thing about a kiwi, and I'm talking about the fruit, not the bird, the national bird of New Zealand, you want to conserve as much of that fruit as possible. It's just like when you clean a strawberry or any other fruit, right? So the first thing I do, as close as possible as I can to where the stem is, I take the serrated edge, right? Boom, not bad, right? Then I go ahead, I'm trying to create flat edges, take the other bottom edge. Again, wow, I didn't take much off that, right? That's pretty good. Now, what I do, I slide that kiwi. Let's see, this is going to be a little tricky, but I think this is going to be pretty neat. All right, hold on. Let's get it down there. So you can see the kiwi is extending just beyond the edge of the cutting board, and the cutting board is extending just a little bit, extending upon past the edge of the cutting board. Now remember the same edge that I previously used to cut cheese on my other one, right? This is the one I use for cheese. Yes, Maggie has 2 of these, and the rule is if I break one, she buys 2, so you can understand why we have 2. All right, notice that this is the perfect kiwi peeler. Let's see. Now again, I have not rehearsed this today, so it could be a total success, total failure. 1 slice, right? Look at that, just go, and oh my gosh. And I kind of slide it as I go, right? And I always do wear gloves because I like to keep clean, sanitary hands, and also kiwis are sticky and mushy. And again, you see, I'm really just slicing it. And the thing is, I can go around a lot quicker, but for this video, I'm taking it nice and easy. All right. Kiwis, got to be careful because they can get, look at that, not one bit of skin left on there. That took me about 6 cuts, normally about 4 to 5 to get around a kiwi using this. And now obviously, look at that, here it is. Molly's gonna have the perfect kiwi for morning. Right, 1, 2, 3. What fun was that? Well, I want to thank you for joining me. This was Chris. I was just messing around tonight because I needed a mental break for just a little bit before I go back jumping into a little bit more work. And again, another side of me, I'm always trying to think of better ways to do things, more effective, more efficient, save as much of that meat of the fruit as one can, just like I did that with the Manchego cheese. And I'll be cleaning that up. I want to thank you guys for joining me and wasting probably 15 minutes of your life. But now I have my Manchego cheese cut up. I'll get some crackers, right? Maybe a little Pepsi. I'll be set to go. And then I'll have my kiwi all set for Molly in the morning. So again, this is Chris Lukasiewicz. Thank you so much for joining me, spending 15 minutes of nonsense time with me. It's not a bad thing. But I do need to make a plug. A week from this Thursday, 8 a.m., I'm going to go ahead and do a Zoom and a Facebook live streaming simultaneous. I'll be on Zoom. I'll do a screen share from Facebook. I'm going to do County Government 101, a primer. So I'm going to go ahead and go through a brief or presentation on county government, what county government is, what authorities the county commissioners have, how they interact with row offices, departments who fall under them, the courts. Should be pretty interesting. You have any of those homeschoolers or kids who are at this time still in school interested in civics at the municipal level, and that'll be the county level specifically. Hey, please join in a week from Thursday, 8 p.m. on Chris for Carbon County Commissioner, Chris Carbon County Commissioner C4. We'll be live streaming that County Government 101, a primer. Again, thank you and have a great night.